Okay, so the constant conversation about Kathleen Kennedy stepping down, and it seems like that is indeed the case, or looks like it's going to be, and there's been rumors about who's going to take over. Well, a new report from Hollywood Reporter says it is going to be both Carrie, Beck, and Dave Filoni. Good news, bad news for the franchise. We certainly have our opinions on it over here, so we're going to discuss that and more on the show today with myself and Steph Sabraw. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Kristian Harloff Show here today on this Thursday. Joining me, as always, on Thursday is the one and only Steph Sabraw. Hello, Steph. Look at that setup. That setup.
You guys is coming along.
I dig it a lot.
And I moved the Wi-Fi in here, so
I can already tell. Yeah, I can already tell. It looks solid, as they say in some parts of France.
Nice.
We just did. There's a lot we're going to talk about. That I'm assuming you watched the Wicked 2 trailer.
No, I didn't because I know, but Kristian, listen, I've never seen the play, so I have no idea how this.
So
I don't want to. It's the one that I'm like, I just don't want to know at all.
I'm just telling you that if your channel was already up and running, you'd be a lunatic not to react to it.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I know, maybe, yeah.
Once your channel is running, if it's not running yet, then yeah. But I'm just saying for you,
right?
I mean, come on. It's like you and your. Is it what's more anticipated, this or Avatar?
It's crazy, but it's this.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So you should absolutely do that. But
okay,
I'm so curious to hear your thoughts on this. I know we have similar points of view, but I wonder how you feel about this story. And this is be a way of Dark Horizons, but Hollywood Reporter is the ones who reported it, and a feature piece in the Hollywood Reporter has gone into the issues of succession in Hollywood as executive power struggles are going on behind the scenes at major studios, production companies, and agencies from Disney and Sony to Lucasfilm and CAA. A generational shift is coming as baby boomer execs currently in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, powerful people who have been holding on long past regular retirement age, are letting go, with some transfers of power expected to be smoother than others. One of the most interesting parts of the article is Lucasfilm. It's expected that 72-year-old Kathleen Kennedy will step down sometime in the near future, and the trade indicates when she does, it's thought that she'll promote from within. Rather than an outside candidate, such as a previously rumored former 20th Century head Emma Watts, the current thinking is a scenario where CCO Dave Filoni and production head Carrie Beck take co-head roles. The main complication is neither Filoni nor Beck has much film experience, and Filoni may be too concerned with lore at the expense of alienating casual viewers. As one source puts it, he's the Ahsoka guy and not the Andor guy. Well put. Kennedy is expected to have continued presence as a producer on certain projects to oversee the transition and ensure quality control. At present, there are multiple Star Wars movies in development. Steph, I think the audience can predict my response at this point. If this is indeed true, which again, Hollywood Reporter is saying this, what do you make of this news? Do you think this is the right call?
I think it was only a matter of time. I know there's a big group of people that were like, why hasn't this happened earlier? But just.
Oh no. The internet being in the other room had nothing to do with this. She's frozen, ladies and gentlemen.
You better come back soon.
Just given all of the varying information.
Oh, you froze.
Oh my God, I'm so pissed. Nope. Am I back?
Kind of. But now your audio. You're like throwing your voice now, which is interesting.
Oh no. Okay, how is it?
Well, I'll tell you. I'm gonna stay around until you sync back up. Are you synced back up? Let me hear you say something.
Yeah, hello?
Good enough.
All right, go ahead. Let's see what you said.
I'm so annoyed. Okay, so I just think this makes complete sense. It was only a matter of time, and where she is in her life and career, I just think it's a no-brainer, and I think it's exciting, honestly, to see what she does.
No-brainer that she steps down, or no-brainer who's going to succeed?
Oh, no-brainer that she steps down. Okay. In terms of who succeeds her, I guess I haven't paid any attention to Carrie Beck. I have to do more research. I don't so I feel like I'm not the best speaker on that necessarily. On the Dave Filoni front, it felt like that was inevitable as well. I'll be really curious to see how the Mandalorian and Grogu, what it actually looks like and is in Ahsoka season 2. Have any of the notes of the various audience been heard and met, or is it kind of going to be similar to what we've already been receiving in terms of Filoni's projects moving forward? I just don't know.
This is a nightmare situation.
Oh gosh.
This is the worst thing that could happen for Star Wars in general. This is a nightmare scenario. Nightmare. Good that Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down and do her own thing. As we said, it reminds me very much so of like the studio and what's happening in that show, the studio, right? Catherine O'Hara is pretty much asked to step down. She does. She's producing and she's still around doing things as Kathleen Kennedy would. This is very well structured by Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy has pretty much been training and been watching and been championing Carrie Beck's career. And I think from what I hear, Carrie Beck's great. From what I hear, people who worked with her, supportive, good to work with. But as they said in the article, she has a lot of film experience. The executive side of Carrie Beck, I don't really have so much of an opinion to say anything negative, because with her, the only thing is it looks like it's planned and structured again, a way for Kathleen Kennedy to still have her structure and her idea, and what you've learned from somebody over the years, you're going to take that into it. So we're still going to have the Kathleen Kennedy structure with Carrie Beck, I believe, as executive. The other thing that is the negative is because of the, I think, power and creativity that she has, and how hand in hand she's worked with Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni has not worked in film that much. And as they said very well, he's the Ahsoka guy, not the Andor guy. Star Wars doesn't need just adult material like Andor, but they need well-written stuff. They need things that are going to change. They need the Star Wars universe, not Dave Filoni's Star Wars. Dave Filoni will take over. He has already done this pretty much, and you've seen a lot of the stuff that has happened in this world that has been Dave Filoni animation in live action. And this is a mistake. This is a big mistake to give this guy the keys to the castle. He should be running the animation scene and maybe doing what he, like I said, I want to give him credit on, there's a few episodes of Mandalorian season 1, season 2 that he directed. I don't believe he wrote the episodes, all of them. Maybe he did, but there were ones that he did that were excellent. A lot of the other stuff just comes across as there's things you can do in animation that you can't do in live action. And he has not picked that up. From what I hear, he's not the biggest fan of Andor. And when it comes to maybe not the filmmaking, maybe not the way that it's shot, maybe he respects that, of course. But as far as it being Star Wars, from what I understand, he doesn't believe that that's Star Wars. And there's a lot of people that share that opinion too, and a lot of people that will agree with him that that's the case, and it doesn't need to go that route. And some people have said things about Andor that they didn't like what it did in season 2, and it went a little darker, and that Star Wars shouldn't have that. There are some people who definitely champion Dave Filoni. I think giving him the keys to the castle to run things when he has, they're essentially treating him like the James Gunn, where Peter Safran is the executive who's making all the decisions as far as the business side of things. The parks, the theme parks, those things, and Dave Filoni wouldn't have anything to do with, and he wouldn't want anything to do with them. But deciding what gets greenlit is I know the studio is ultimately the one who says yes or no with the money, but deciding what project we want to go forward with and bring to the studio, giving that to Dave Filoni, you're just making Dave Filoni Star Wars. And that is a big, major mistake. The other side is that you could say, well, listen, maybe Dave Filoni's been handcuffed by Kathleen Kennedy. Maybe there's some stuff Dave Filoni wanted to do that he couldn't do. I just told you this a long time ago, Steph, when we were talking about this. If you really want to change the direction of Lucasfilm when she leaves, you got to gut it. You got to bring in new people, not people that were trained by the previous regime. You got to bring in a new regime. This is just continuing the same regime. Star Wars is not going to improve this way.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. And you brought up the DC situation with Saffron and Gunn, where they did gut it. Basically, it was like
Yeah.
they cleaned house,
Yep.
and I know they kept some people, but it was very, very far and in between. And so it's like they took part of that method and then not the other side. Well, we don't know officially yet, but it is interesting. Like,
I agree. Totally. Absolutely. It is interesting.
I just wish I could be in the room and wonder. Can you hear me now?
Kind of. No, I can.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna try to plug in the Ethernet cord.
That's what people said you should try to do. But give your thoughts
Okay.
quick. I'll give my thoughts again. You can do that while I'm talking.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder what it's like in the room where they're like Dave Filoni's been the guy. He's been here for so long and he loves Star Wars and they probably love working with him too. And I'm just curious what his position is, like if he really just is like I want to do live action Star Wars, or like if he would go back to doing the animated world in Star Wars, which I think he did so well. I'm obsessed with Clone Wars and I love what he and Rebels is so great. But I just feel like it hasn't really had a it's not working in terms of reception by the audience
Nope.
and moving the meter forward for Star Wars in general.
That's the main question, though. Is he delusional in the fact that he thinks it's all working? Because, like I said, when you go to Star Wars Celebration, he's still treated like a rock star, right? But it's not accurate, because when you go to Star Wars Celebration, of course you're going to be honored by everybody there. It's for the ultimate fan experience. That's what those are designed for. But are you paying attention to the layout of the land and seeing what people are thinking? It's like it's not working. Like your stuff's not working. Like the ratings are even for people like Ahsoka's mixed. There's some people who really I feel like you really enjoyed the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
Right. So it's mixed. But it wasn't a ratings juggernaut. It did I think decent at best, if not disappointing. What people do agree on, and I think you even said this, if you didn't watch Rebels or any of Dave Filoni's animated shows, you don't have the same experience as other people because you're kind of Mike was lost. Mike kind of gave up after like episode 3 or 4. And even for me, I was a fan of Rebels, and I felt like for some reason Sabine was still acting the same way she was at 19 years old, and I feel like there wasn't a lot of thought put into that. And first time I think I was kind of Kool-Aided the first time I watched it. I still like the first 2 episodes. There's a few episodes that I liked, but when you go back and you watch it, the writing is just not good. And the fact that he's taking on all of this writing, he's doing all the writing. James Gunn, he is not. And if that conversation has come up to where it's like, okay, well, you can be our James Gunn. No, you cannot. You do not have his experience. You don't. I don't. James Gunn is very much in the comic book lore as Dave Filoni is in the Star Wars lore. And I will say this: Dave Filoni understands the essence of Star Wars. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he was the right hand man to George Lucas, and he understands the essence. When you hear him explain certain things with the prequels and other things, he understands it. That doesn't make you a good screenwriter. It doesn't make you a good executive. I don't believe he's a good executive. I don't believe he's a good screenwriter. And I think by doing that and by having that, it's like, again, a sports team looking at a coach that there's a ton of coaches out there that can win you a championship, but you want to go for one of the coaches that's been, working with the team already, but they've been on the losing team. They've had their input, but they've been on the losing team. And you're giving that person, the assistant coach, you're giving that person a chance to run the team. I will be the first person to say after like one of the first movies, because you're still going to have a lot of the Kathleen Kennedy movies coming out that she was producing and stuff. But I will be the first to say, if he starts to make new stories, make new things, make new films, and they blow me away, and I'm like, well, I will be the first to say, Steph, I was wrong. This guy was the right choice. Because in 2016, 2015, I would be saying, yes, this is a good move. And I shouldn't have been back then because he didn't have any experience. But this is not this is it's just not the route to go. This guy doesn't have enough experience. He is too much in, like, I want to make Dave Filoni Star Wars, and he thinks it's Star Wars, overall, because he was trained by George Lucas. It's a bad move.
Yeah, I think that when you do look at his track record, it is like you have to have had to fill the position that needs to be filled. A lot of either movies under your belt or executive credits that you have that are for successful projects for this specific position. It's not about like the capability or, possibility. It really is like, it is a curious thing where it it doesn't happen often where you're like, "Oh, wait, you don't really have nearly the credits that other people have in that same
Right.
position." And a lot of it does have to do with, like, he just seems like a really awesome guy who loves Star Wars, and it's
Yeah.
infectious, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I get that, which is why I think he should be super high up in Star Wars, in Lucasfilm, but, not necessarily that position where you need a certain set of experience to
You do.
fulfill it.
100%. And it's also, I think that what they're doing, and I'm telling you, you could hear the conversations when Iger and other people were saying, what if we do a Warner Brothers type scenario where we find someone like a Peter Safran? That could be Carrie Beck, and Kathleen Kennedy's getting ready. She should do it. She's ready. Yada, yada, yada. And then we need a creative head like James Gunn. Who's that guy? Well, it's Filoni. And he knows Star Wars better than anybody. And it's like, read the room. Read the room. The stuff is not resonating with everyone. It's not resonating with everyone. And you just look at the kind of critical acclaim, and for people who have been talking about what Andor season 2 did and how it was the first thing that people actually respected in Star Wars in maybe, I don't know how many years. And you're not going to go down that route. You're not going to try to actually make some stuff like well-written HBO Max type stuff. Someone says in the chat, and I don't know if I disagree with this, and I've said it before. I think the best thing that Bob Iger could do for Lucasfilm right now is to sell it. I think that'd be the best thing for him to do. If he went and said, you know what? Apple's been wanting this thing forever. I'm just going to sell it to Apple. But the problem is, I think that, the stuff within the theme park comes to it, and other things come with it that maybe Apple doesn't want. I think that's what happened the last time. From what I heard, they were close to buying it a while ago.
Oh.
So, and if I was Apple and I got it, first thing I'm doing, I'm putting my people in who's making these shows now for me. They're in charge. See you later, everybody else. Like, I would keep the people, though. Like I said many times over, if you're keeping the animation, I would make Dave Filoni the head of animation. He's excellent at it. I would also then the team behind Visions, the team behind those video games, those people, I would keep them. And you could also say, like, and maybe you keep a lot of the executives too that were there, but you can't give them the keys to the castle. That team is not working. It just isn't.
Yeah, I'm but I don't even know, just for, I guess, well, this is why business is cutthroat. I don't know how you have those conversations, because it feels so personal now within the Lucasfilm division.
Yeah.
Like, it really feels like, they're probably family now, like Kennedy and
I know.
Filoni, Favreau, all those people working for years on it. So it's probably really hard to see outside themselves, but I do hope that I think we all hope that, well, I wouldn't say all. I think some people are really fine with the way Star Wars is, and it's like those are full. I liked Ahsoka, I liked Obi-Wan, and I did like a lot of episodes in all of the shows that have come out. I do have problems with all of them too, but I did like a lot. So, but there's a lot of people complacent and being like, "Oh yeah, just keep it. It's fine. It's for working." But what I would hope to see from Star Wars is kind of that, the same way that Marvel had its massive revitalization and changed comic book movies, and
Mhm.
for it to just be like super exciting again and edge of your seat TV or movies or whatever they're working on.
I want it to be America's pastime again. And what I mean by that, like I always said, like, I want the way baseball is no longer America's pastime, football is. But for a long time, baseball was. Star Wars was the thing. Star Wars was the main thing that everyone talked about. It was the thing that people based their careers off of. I wanted to, how many filmmakers have you heard? That's the reason I started making movies, is because of Star Wars. It
Right.
was the thing. It's no longer the thing. And it could be. And so I asked like PLD, who's a producer on the show, and is in there, and he likes the pew pew stuff and all this stuff. And look, that's part of Star Wars. It is. But PLD, I ask you, wouldn't you want to see more stuff that's actually, because he was texting me after Andor, and he's like, oh, this is incredible, the way it's written, everything too. I'm like, wouldn't you want to see it? I'm not just talking about the dark political side of Andor. I'm talking about people who actually putting in effort to write good dialogue and not saying, let's spend 7 minutes on the monster of the week. And here's a jetpack, and boom, boom. Oh, they're going to be happy about that. It's a jetpack, explosions, and yay. It's like, and we'll make it 25 minutes, and that's it. And we'll spend a whole bunch of money on it, and we'll use the volume. It's lazy. It's lazy. And you could really spend 45 minutes to 50 minutes, use locations. Now, again, you don't have to make TV shows, because TV shows are going to be expensive, as we know, but you can make more movies, and you don't have to just spend time in the Filoni-verse, the same damn time every time. Again, it's either right after episode 6, or it's usually right around. That's the whole thing, or it's in the Clone Wars era, or is it? Let's get away from it. I mean, I know that's what they're doing with Sean Levy, which is good after the whole Rey thing. It's a whole new thing, but let's treat it with respect. Let's actually write good things. Put the dialogue in there, and I don't know. I root for it. It's like when I was a fan of, been a fan of the Yankees for a very long time, and I was watching this thing on Don Mattingly, and they were talking about the years where the Yankees were just, again, spending all this money and were dog shit. They were not even a second to last place or whatever it was. And it was rough. And I remember everybody in New York talking about how people should be fired and no one should, and this. Didn't give up on the Yankees. They just it was just a bummer. You're like, oh, that's who they're using. That's their new coach. That's who they're putting in shortstop. That's who they're doing that. What are they doing? And there's a difference between, oh, you're a hater. No, I'm a sports fan waiting for my team to win the championship again. This coach is not going to win you a championship.
You bring up the theme park, and it just makes you think about the greater picture of what's really happening, and you kind of, the curtain gets unveiled, and you remember that now this has become a massive money-making machine in this massive capitalistic world that we live in. And it is like, I go back and forth because there is something really endearing about a Filoni who really just loves the magic of Star Wars. And, maybe that is keeping some, we don't know what's actually happening. Some of the like business corporation, like, let's sell toys behind it. But sometimes I'm like, or maybe he does like that. Like, I don't know what they're, because if that is the goal, like, let's just have these theme parks, let's make toys, let's have content for kids to watch, and and then they come to the parks and then feel this everlasting circle of money and just captivation by our screens, then we'll never get really what you and I are talking about. And so it's like, I don't even know if they want that ever anymore, which would be really sad.
Yeah, it's true. And it's also, it's less to me about, because I don't disagree with you. I think he's very passionate about it. I don't think it's, by no world, I think this guy's a fake Star Wars fan who doesn't get Star Wars fan. I feel the opposite. I feel exactly as you do. I think he's passionate about it. I think he loves it. The problem is, I think he's become a gatekeeper. I think he's become a gatekeeper of what he thinks is Star Wars and what should be Star Wars. And now you give him the power to say, no, that's not Star Wars. He's not the guy to do that. He's right. Not the guy to do that. Because he is so in his world of what he believes Star Wars is, that he's going to shoot. No. George wouldn't want that. No. Knights of the Republic. No. There are so many people who are like, you could do so much with Knights of the Republic. Oh, no. Legends books. No. If it ties into my show, if it's my animated show, yeah, that's all canon. Sure. If it's anything to do with anything that I did, yeah, that's all canon. And don't touch any of that. Don't change any of that. Gilroy, sure, you can change it up a little bit, but for the most part, you got to still have the ghost involved. But books, nah, poop on them. Who cares? No, nobody cares about books. Comics, fart all over them. Who cares? And it's like, that you can't do that. And that's what he does. He's the wrong guy. Anyway, that's a long discussion. What do you guys think? Maybe you feel the exact opposite. You think Filoni is the guy. Does he have the sauce? Does he have the mustard? We don't know. But put your thoughts in there. Let me know, especially if you're on the Clips channel, man. Clips channel right now, 10,100 people over there right now, trying to get to 11,000. I think we can do it. You got to hit that button. I mentioned video games beforehand, too. You talk about video games. If you do not have, Steph, you're a gamer. Turtle Beach for you. Look at this. So it's Turtle Beach time, and I'm excited to talk about them again. Man, that Stealth 700 headset that I got, pooey, the sound. I was playing the Indiana Jones game. The sound is just so, it's like, you guys know how I am with sound and movies in general. Playing this game and hearing every little bit of sound because the headset is just so incredible. It just does, it leaps and bounds better than previous ones that I've used. But you know, it's funny when you're playing the game and you're so just taken in by all the sounds because the headset is so incredible. I was like, oh, wait, I gotta pay attention to what's going on. I'm going to get popped by one of these bad guys. And the other great thing about it's got an 80-hour battery life. I was like, oh, I got to charge this thing. It's like, no, not yet. You got time. I mean, you could. You don't have to. And that's the worst when you're playing a game, you're doing something with the headset, and then just craps out, and you're like, oh, I got to wait forever. It's great. The Stealth 700 has the industry's first ever cross-play dual wireless transmitter system. It means you can seamlessly switch between your consoles and the PC with just a click of a button. Gets even better. While being connected to your console, the Stealth 700 can connect with your phone for music streaming, taking calls at the same time. Listen to your favorite songs while gaming, all done with the Stealth 700. And it's not just amazing headsets that Turtle Beach has. They have every gaming accessory that you could ever want, and they're all high quality, and they're prices that don't break the bank. It's most important. From flight and racing simulators to controllers, keyboards, and mice, Turtle Beach is the ultimate gaming cheat code. You got to head to turtlebeach.com. You got to use that code Kristian. 10% off your entire order. That is 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com. Use the promo code Kristian. You're going to purchase it like you did last time. They'll ask you where you heard about them. You got to tell them our show sent you. We did it. Get the ultimate immersed gaming experience with Turtle Beach today. Thank you to Turtle Beach. Again, please go and pick up a pair of those headphones. You're going to love it. You're going to dig it. And don't forget to tell them that we sent you. Steph, we got you want to know what right now, who do you think's in the lead and what do you think it is as far as the questions today?
I think Roxy's in the lead and she has 99.
John Rocha is in the lead.
Okay.
113.
Okay.
Good number.
Yeah, it's a good number.
There are 27 minutes so far. We got 5. So
okay.
Yeah, you're gonna need a big boost by the time we get there, but you still have about half an hour before we get to the questions. So if you want to see Steph beat Rocha, I mean, come on, she's got a Beauty and the Beast cup. Look at that. That's Chip, right?
Yeah, it's Chip, great. The icon.
It's great. So, and you want to see Steph take out Rocha, you got to get her to 114 today. Okay. Did you see Ballerina?
No, not yet. We're going to go this weekend.
Okay, you're going this weekend. Well, there's good news and bad news. Good news is that the reviews are in for this. The bad news is my mouse isn't allowing me to bring it up. Oh, there we go. So, John Wick, the spinoff, the reviews are in. After delays, extensive reshoots, concerns, and rampant speculation, the John Wick spinoff Ballerina film arrives in cinemas on Friday, and the reviews are now out. Verdict is decent. Film is sitting at 75% on Rotten Tomatoes and 62% on Metacritic. Certainly the weakest of the film franchise, though considerably better than the widely panned last attempt at a spinoff with the Continental. Reviews paint the picture of strong action, a robust turn from Ana de Armas, a more comedic tone than the main John Wick series, and a film that improves as it goes along. Most issues seem to tie to the script and story. Sampling of reviews. Good news is that Ballerina has another place it wants to show us, and that place turns out to be a wonderful addition to the franchise, ever-swelling cinematic universe. It's absurd, thrilling, gorgeous, and I don't know what got us there, but while Ballerina doesn't start off as a real John Wick movie, it sure ends as one. De Armas is a magnetic presence with all the right moves, and Weissman's muscular direction make for mindless summer action entertainment with a lot of style. I do have to admit that De Armas carries off the essential silliness of Ballerina, and after her performance as Paloma in No Time to Die opposite Daniel Craig's 007, she proves once again she can do action. Fight scenes are all Ballerina has going for it, but they're frequent, varied, and clever enough to make watching the film a worthy summer pastime. That is from Alonso Duralde from the Film Verdict, and out of the ones that I've read so far, echoes my opinion on the film. Ballerina is a cluttered mess with a boring storyline, but the action is also often amazing, and there's a genuine sense of humor to it, all its weird duels to the death. That's something that's been absent from the self-serious John Wick movies for far too long. As a vehicle to add more lore and nuance to the John Wick cinematic universe, while also delivering numerous fun action sequences, Ballerina functions well. Unfortunately, it fails to give its star a real character to play or substantial plot to follow. That is from former Schmoedown competitor Liz Shannon Miller. So I agree with her. I agree with, I mean, for the first time, I kind of agree with Bibiani in a certain aspect. And I agree with Alonzo. The movie is like, Ana de Armas is a major star. I mean, she's a star, and she is charismatic. I just shot my review for it this morning. And what I can say about the film again is that it does start. Oh, David Castaneda is also from Umbrella Academy, is in the beginning of this movie, and he's excellent in it. And it starts off, and I'm like, okay, we're going to actually get into a full story here. The story gets dropped pretty fast because it just becomes about the action. And what I said, Steph, about the movie itself is that I just watched John Wick because I found out my friend Tina had never seen him before. So we did reactions to him. We just did the first one, and that's going to come out soon. And well, the first John Wick movie is so different in tone than the other ones. Like it is.
Mhm.
I said this in my out of the theater reaction. I said it in my review. There was a comment in my out of the theater reaction because I said the thing that was missing in this movie was like the story and like really locking in. And some guy goes, "Oh, what you want a story? The first John Wick's about a guy's dog gets killed and that's it, and then he kills everybody." That's not what. If that's what you saw the wrong movie. The movie that happened in the story that happens in John Wick is that John Wick is coming out of this business, and it takes you for a bit to figure out what you have to figure out what it is that the business it is. Just lost his wife and is trying to stay on that path in her memory. It's her wish and her dying last act of love gives him this dog for the peace and to stay level and peaceful, to have that thing to love. And as long as he has that, things are going to be all right. And his old world takes it away from him. And he's got to get thrown back into it. There's so much more than just the dog dying. So much more. And you learn about it, and you start to learn the cast of characters, and it's an 1.5-hour movie. You get so much out of it, and you learn so much as it's building up. And then it gets more video gamey as the series goes on. This movie, Ballerina, gives you a quick thing. This is who she is. And now she's been trained, and now she's John Wick in John Wick 4. And you're like, not really earned. Fun to watch. If you're going, I actually scored this movie twice in the same review. I said, I'm going to score it as an overall movie with a story and everything. And then I'm going to just score it as an action movie you go and see in the theater. Clearly, the second version of that got a higher score than the first. But I think if you're just going for the action, to watch things blow up, to shove popcorn in your face and watch a charismatic actress kick some ass, then you're going to enjoy it. If you're looking for some story and to try to get that feel and that energy of the first John Wick, you don't get it. What are you excited about with this one?
Ana de Armas is just a star. Like when you hear people talk about her, it is like it was one of those things where I always enjoyed watching her in movies, and then I saw the internet react to literally just a photo of her like in the audience at an award show, and like she has a magnetic pull. Men love her and women do too. Like she's just awesome. So I was kind of curious what the story was going to be. It's kind of a bummer because I felt like I got the vibes that they had a really strong story to tell. And then the few scenes we did see within the Ballerina, like the confines of where John Wick was raised, I guess, were really interesting. And I was like, I want to know more. So that was enough for me to be like, okay, that's a cool world to explore for a prequel or whatever it's going to be. And yeah, so it's a bummer to hear that the story wasn't super strong. I think that's like the most important thing you put with a script, except in this rare occasion in action films where if the action is pretty decent, then you have a good time and it's like, okay.
That's really what it is. And I would, if you and Harry are going to this movie for the story, you will be disappointed. If you're going with the understanding, like, you know what? I just want to watch some cool fight scenes. And they do a couple of things that I was like, I'm surprised they never did that in John Wick before. And they do some great stuff. The other thing is that in the first John Wick movie, as opposed to the fourth, you could throw John Wick off of a skyscraper in the fourth movie and he'll land and then get up and keep fighting. He falls down 75 flights of stairs and he's fine.
He'll do his limp.
In the first movie, he's fighting, he's getting beat up by people, and he's got to go to the doctor, and his stitches are going to come out, and he's a mess throughout the whole thing. I was like, by the fourth one, he's kind of earned it. I was like, she's got to earn that. Like, because there's a cool scene where they tell her, like, look, you're not going to be stronger than anybody. Most people are going to be stronger than you. You got to find a way to do it your way. And I was like, that's a great angle. But they don't. The next thing you know, she's just kicking the piss out of 85 people in the same thing. I'm like, oh, we didn't earn that. It's fun to watch, but it wasn't earned. So there's like two parts of my brain working as I'm watching it. So I'm like, part one, keep hoping for that kind of structured story that Steph was just talking about that you're going to get and be disappointed, or just realize this is just a fun action movie with a cool, charismatic star. And that's what this is.
Right. I feel like, to your earlier comment about how the guy's like, John Wick's just about a dog who got shot. It's like, the genius of John Wick is because they used a very simple device to show exactly what it means to be human in grief and like in this position where I have gotten a dog for that reason, if someone, so it was just because it was simple and effective. It wasn't like just nothing writing. It was really, really explicit and just smart writing. And that's why everyone loves John Wick. And that's why, like you're saying, by the fourth, you're like, do whatever you want.
Yeah, by the fourth, because you're like, what can you do? And it's like Fast and Furious. Just go over the top. But if you're gonna start over again, this isn't part 5 of John Wick. This is a new character. John Wick's in it, and it's in between 3 and 4, but it's not his story this time. It's her story, and you gotta define that a little bit more. And I love what's his face, Gabriel Byrne. I love Gabriel Byrne, Usual Suspects, and I love.
Oh yeah,
underused. Norman Reedus pretty much underused. But and that was the other thing, is that in the first John Wick, you establish Ian McShane as Winston. You establish all of these characters that are coming in this world. You don't establish a lot of new characters in this. You just reestablish the old ones and like, give me some new ones, give me some new characters and define them the way you define the other ones. So you can franchise this thing, and it doesn't look like, and it's also shows you the difference in the stuff that Len Wiseman is just look at the screen and go like this for like a little bit. He never puts detail in his movies. He never has. But there's some really fun action. There's some really fun action and some crazy kills. So if you're going for that, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Are you excited about this? Do you want to see this movie? What say you? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. Again, put your comments in the clips channel. Put it here. Thank you very little. All right. So, Steph, currently at 11, you need about 100 to just around 100 to get to Rocha. Can they push you there today? We shall see. All right. Here is Norman Reedus has someone else. Norman doesn't have any good scenes. He's got one. I mean, he's essentially Daryl Dixon in the scene, and he's got one cool scene. But again, there's really nothing to his character, unfortunately. And Lance Reddick, having him back was nice to see him, obviously. Okay. I'm not going to show the trailer because I don't want to spoil it for Steph. I want to be respectful.
Oh, yeah, you can do whatever you need to do.
Okay, but there was a teaser trailer for Wicked for Good. And Universal Pictures has unveiled the teaser trailer for Wicked for Good, the upcoming second Wicked movie, which adapts the back half of the musical. Both films were shot back to back, but the second film begins years after the events of the first. Elphaba, now an enemy of the state of Oz and dubbed the Wicked Witch of the West. At the same time, Glinda has become a public figure controlled by the wizard, by Jeff Goldblum, and Madame Morrible, Michelle Yeoh. The consequence of the choices made at the end of the first film now plays out here in the second. The first film was both a critical smash and commercial success, the highest grossing movie musical of all time, as well as landing 10 Oscar nominations, including wins for costume and production design. Director John M. Chu tells Vanity Fair that the second film is so different from movie one, but adds that some aspects of the sequel will shed light on choices made in the first, things that you may have noticed in movie one. You'll see why those things are there. It is designed to be big and felt deeply. One disadvantage is that most of the musical's well-known songs are in the first half. The second has a few notable ones, including For Good, Thank Goodness, No Good Deed, and As Long as You're Mine. The second film also has 2 new songs, one each for Glinda and Alphaba. In the musical, Dorothy Gale is only seen as a shadow, but here she and her friends will be seen a bit more. Of the changes, Chu says we tread lightly, try to make more sense of how it impacts our girls and our characters than maybe the show does. We're delicate. In terms of where the film is right now, Chu says he's still doing little tweaks here and there. We're almost there, inches away. First film will also be returning to theaters in limited release this summer. Here's the have you seen the poster, Steph? If not, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so I just did the trailer reaction to this too. I said the first thing I said was, if you're a Wicked fan and you see this, you're gonna lose your mind. You're gonna lose your mind. It's like it is the second movie. You can tell how it ties in, where it was shot. I guarantee you, this is another guarantee I'll give you. John M. Chu will be nominated for Best Director at the Oscars. Well, whether or not he deserves it or not for this one, because of the snub that he got last year. Yeah, he'll be nominated this year. I think he'll probably wind up being deserved for it, but he's going to get nominated for this. And I'm curious to how it's going to look. It looks beautiful. It looks like a continuation of the first story, obviously. And I mean, like I said to you when we talked about it, it wasn't in my top 10 of last year, but I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a good adaptation, great adaptation from a musical. I'm excited to see where the story goes. The movie plays continuously in my house. I'm not the Wicked person, but I can understand why people love this movie, and this movie's going to make close to $1 billion. How excited are you for this movie?
I'm
Tell me.
So excited. So excited. Like, this is one of the movies that just makes me fall in love with musicals, but also just movies in general and what we can do with them. And it's like, I can't wait. The picture looks great. I realized that they were picking up a few years ahead of time. That's like new news to me. So that's kind of cool, because I was like, I wonder if they're going to pick up right where we ended, but I guess it makes sense in terms of where we finally end. If they're going off the Wizard of Oz, that we would jump a few years to be a little bit more realistic and see where their friendship has changed and gone. But I will be there. I'll probably go to the re-release in theater as well, and then be there for the second part. I think it'll be helpful, the fact that they filmed it back to back. So whatever magic they had on set it's basically a shoe-in for continuation, whether or not it's like as good of a story. That's, I mean, to be seen, but I agree with you. I feel like it's kind of like a no-brainer, but it feels like because it was filmed back to back, it's that same energy, it's that same level that they gave the first one.
Yeah, and the movie's going to do gangbusters. It's going to make so much money.
So much money.
Yeah,
just so great.
It is, and it's so. I think Universal. This is Universal. They're going to have. This will be a big hit for them. They know it, and especially the first. I think the first one did like 800 million or something. So if the first one did that, the second one is going to definitely do that more. And what I said also, Steph, and I wonder, I assume you agree with this, is that the thing is, you know how they're always talking, we talked about it last week, I think you and I, how do you get the younger generation in the theater? Because they're looking at TikTok or other things, and it's not a movie going generation the way that like my generation was, your generation was, like, let's go to the movies. They don't do that. However, there are certain ones that they do. This is one of those movies that they do.
Yeah, they will be there, and they will be dressed up. Oh my gosh, it just lights me up as just a movie nerd. I remember when the Harry Potter movies would come out, and all of us, all the kids, elementary to high school and college, would be there at midnight or whenever the first showing of the movie was, outside, ready, got our parents to drop us off, and it was like the best thing ever. And they're gonna do that
easily. My oldest will definitely be doing it. There'll be birthday parties that people go to do it. It's like we sing alongs, all these things. So this movie's going to make an insane amount of money.
Did you see that TikTok where they had this little girl at a birthday party and they had an Elphaba and a Glinda come?
No.
And they were like 5-year-olds. And
Aw.
the one girl was like, "Why are you green?" And this little girl was like, she's just destined to be like the new Wendy Williams, was like, "Oh, that's because her mom cheated with this guy who gave her a green potion, and then she turned green and like gave her the full skinny." It was
Wow.
the best thing ever. And then Alphaba was like, "Yeah, it's actually exactly what happened."
That is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
The stuff kids say are just incredible. I told you, like,
Funny.
I always like you always get a kick out of what Maisie says, you know. Do you know Maisie
Yes.
made her debut on this show like last like it was like a
No.
week or two. Her and Sadie were in here, and Maisie came and she sat on my lap, and she was on for like the last portion of it. What did she say? The two things that she said. The first was my wife she's not notoriously just not a morning person. So waking up, I was like, "Go wake your mom up," and she goes, she's like, "I just tried. She's not getting up." And I was like, "Try again." She goes, "That's your problem, not mine."
Man, if you had a little bit more dance mom in you, you would be TikTok famous.
Oh,
From from exploiting her.
Oh, or
Like if
exploiting
you
her.
were a little more momager, you would just if you had that camera on her, I know, I respect it fully.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna be the same way. But she is just like built for camera.
The stuff that she says is just, I mean, she's said so much recently that's just like where she even comes up
Where
with
did
this
you It's bizarre. Like in her
I don't know.
former life, she was a gangster.
I mean, she's hilarious. The things that she says. There's so many different. There's something that she even said this morning. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, yeah, I can't remember. But whatever. She just continuously. She's hilarious. Anyway, let's see if there's one more thing to discuss. I don't really think so, Steph. I don't think there's a lot more. I know that there was something about Fantastic Four was the tickets went on sale. And it kind of crashed the Fandango and other things. People were sending me that this morning. Yeah, so it looks like people are. I mean, there's so much. I can bring back that wasn't a debate because I think Roxy and I are on the same page, but the conversation rather with Jurassic World. The new one comes out in the beginning of July. The week after that is Superman, and then 2 weeks after that is Fantastic Four. So I'll ask you the same types of questions. Question one: out of the three of those, which one makes $1 billion? You can have more than one answer if you want.
I think Jurassic and Superman.
I think those are good bets because Superman right now is tracking at 175 opening weekend. If it does that and it holds strong, and then the other one is which movie is going to do better internationally? Jurassic World, Fantastic Four, or Superman?
I think Superman because, and I could be wrong, but this is my thinking. I don't think we've ever needed a Superman more than right now.
Internationally, though, not domestic.
It's still like he's an alien hero, even though he's the American hero. I am not sure, but I feel like he's like the hero. I don't know. Let me know if you guys are international. Like, who's the hero?
I think Jurassic World wins internationally easy. Like easy.
Their numbers always shock me.
Yes, mine too. And it's usually because of international numbers, because you don't have to have the dialogue make sense of like, you're not going for an emotional attachment in Jurassic World. You're going for big dinosaurs. You can put subtitles on and dub things and it doesn't matter. No one cares. If it's international, they want to see the dinosaurs. That's all they care about. Superman, you need to have that emotional attachment and not just the big visuals. Those big visuals will be there, but it's going to be about the emotional attachment also. And I don't know if it's going to carry it. Plus the fact, whether or not you're going to change it or not, of the American way, he's an American hero, you know, and some people, and as much as you try, they're trying to, you know, move that around. It's like, oh, it's not just about America, it's about everything, is what he says in the trailer or whatever. He's still, one of our viewers yesterday said that there was a trailer for it in Canada, which Canada not big fans of the US right now, were booing the screen because it was a Superman. And I don't think it was because of the movie. I think it's because it was
Oh my
America.
gosh.
Yeah. So I just don't think domestic.
Pray that Trump doesn't do one of those AI photos again, like he did with the one with Star Wars, where did you see him do an AI photo where he dressed up in like a Sith robe, but he thought it was a Jedi robe?
Oh, that's
the funniest thing. And he had a red lightsaber, and he was like saying he was saying he was the Jedi, which I'm like, damn, you guys fire whoever social media. That's so wrong. But if he does a Superman one, then yeah, we're screwed with the international.
But I also think that the dinosaurs transfer over more to kids too. And I think more kids are gonna and
my nephew's obsessed with dinosaurs and cars. Those are the two things.
So now I'll give you the other question. Out of the three of them, which one do you think is the best movie quality wise?
That's a good question. Quality wise, it's going to be for me a toss up between Superman and Fantastic Four.
Okay.
But probably if I had to pick, maybe Superman, just because of the sheer pressure of bringing that story specifically to the DC universe right now.
I think Superman is going to be the best quality wise. I think Jurassic World is going to be the same monster of the week. Same review basically just gave before the Ballerina. Shut your brain off. Watch dinosaurs run rampant with
and a fun cast. Yeah. I really like this cast. Yep.
Yeah. Fantastic Four. I like Shankman. I like what he did with WandaVision, but I think that you could see him getting bullied a little bit more into making like the typical Marvel stuff, and it's just like, okay, just same kind of movie, just fine, not bad. Just how much depth, I don't know. James Gunn has to make you emotionally care about Superman in order for this movie to succeed, and he's good at that. He's good at that. So I would say that it's going to be the best movie will be quality wise will be Superman. The most international, hands down, no contest, is Jurassic World, and I think $1 billion is Jurassic World. That's what you go to Vegas with an outside shot that Superman does it if it hits that 175.
Yeah. I think that's a good.
Yeah. Okay. So again, I asked you guys, what do you make of the reports of the 175 on Superman? Do you which one? If you know what, that's the main thing. Whether you're here live chat, on the replay, or on the Clips channel, put the answer to those three questions. What movie hits $1 billion? Which movie wins the international box office? And which movie is going to be the best quality out of the three? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. All right, Steph, you ready to do this?
Yes.
All right. So you need right now, you need a little less than 100 in order to beat Rocha. We're at 16.
Okay.
You need 113 in order to tie Rocha. Okay. So let's see if you can do it. Can Rocha take out the World Girls here in this day? Steph's freezing, but by the time she gets back, we'll be ready to go. Let's see. First one.
So everyone, here's your chance.
Okay, so you're frozen again, Steph, but you'll be back by the time we answer, hopefully. Chris A. The people behind Hitman are making a 007 game with the kid who played Dexter in Original Sin. Thoughts on him as Bond? I can see it for film. I thought he was excellent. In Dexter. So I don't know. I mean, if they're making a game, why not? Steph, are you still here? Or are you still frozen? She's gone. But I like that. I like him. As far as the game goes, why not? Let him earn his stripes on a game. I'm cool with that. Why not? Why wouldn't I be? Why wouldn't you be? Especially if you saw him. He's really good. Really good. Okay, so that is the first one there. And let's go to oh yes. Did you hear? So Steph, did you get that one?
I'm seeing it now.
Okay, so what do you say? Did you watch Original Sin?
No.
Oh, you wouldn't know then. The kid was excellent.
Sorry.
He was excellent.
Okay.
He was excellent. So, and I've only seen 3 episodes, and I can say he's excellent. Okay, so there was the first one there. And now we get to the second question here for Steph Sabraw. And that question comes to us from our good friend, somebody who I'm stalling and clearly trying, and that would be no ass. Hope you all are having a great day. I'm having a pretty good day so far, Steph. Yourself?
Yes, thank you. I hope you're having a good day.
No ass follows it up and says, has either you seen the trailer for the new Bond game? Patrick Gibson, aka Young Dexter, playing Bond. Do you think he'll be in Bond movies or just the game? Game is produced by Amazon. You know, great question, because what if he's so good and the game does so well and people are like, we need this kid. He's a great actor. You think that's a possibility of a great story of him, you know, kind of coming over, or do they want to have a more well-established name, or does Bond, you know, set the tone there? Steph, what do you think?
I think that's a cool idea. I love the idea of when the character is so well liked and they kind of match the description physically and age-wise,
Yeah.
for them to bring them into live action. I think that's awesome. I'm not familiar with him, but I'll trust your word for it.
He's good. He's really good. Luke TG11 recently saw in the cinema Karate Kid, Ritual, and Dangerous Animals. Which one's Dangerous Animals? Because I keep seeing the poster for that one.
Oh, yeah.
I like them all. Bring back the 90-minute movie. Shout out to my fellow gays. #pride. So what, you know, the 90-minute movie, yes and no. 90-minute movies, if there's enough structure to it, Karate Kid needed a little bit more. Or you could have taken out the Joshua Jackson storyline altogether and just made it an hour and a half and give it a little bit more story on what was going on there. But I'm not going to argue against shorter movies. I mean, especially when I'm going into the city and I'm like, I need to get home in time.
Yeah, I think with comedy movies and horror movies, they have a way safer chance of landing if they keep it super tight. So I'm never opposed to it, but I also am like, you never want to leave things too unsaid. You want to make sure you have a well-rounded script.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. It's like I've been watching some hour and a half movies with, like I said, the first John Wick was an hour and a half movie.
Was it?
Yeah, it's like an hour and 35 minutes.
And the last one was like 4 hours.
Right, it was like almost 3 hours long, and there's way more story in the first one than the fourth. Jay Anderson, I don't care who is the head of Star Wars, just put out good and well-written content. Disney is more concerned about profit than anything else. Well, look, here's the thing. It's not just Disney, Jay. All the studios are more concerned about profit than anything else. It's how they stay alive. That's how they stay. And as a business person, you have to be concerned with profit. You have to be. Especially when you're playing with 200 million. If you're playing with $200 million on movies, it's unfair to say that's all they care about. You have to care about that stuff.
Right.
But as far as who's in charge of Lucasfilm, they should be focused on good and well-written content. This is the thing that people make mistakes of all the time. And not you, Jay. Everybody's doing this. They always say, well, Disney's got to be more concerned with the writing and well-written content. Disney has nothing to do with it. It's Lucasfilm. They need to be the ones bringing the stuff to Disney and saying, hey, we want to make this. And Disney goes, hey, can you put that star in there? Can you do that instead? And then they hold their ground and say, well, we can do this. We can do that. We want to do this. We want this script. Do you have to make it as adult? Yeah, you fight your fights and make sure that you do your thing. But Lucasfilm is a production company that gets the script. They go, we like this. We want to write this. We do this. Now we're bringing it to Disney. They bring it to Disney. Disney doesn't have any. The people who do that time about Disney Star Wars it's a Disney failure. They say this all the time. It's a Disney failure. It's a Lucasfilm failure. Because in the same way, no one ever says, ever. They all blame Disney for the bad stuff that's going on with Marvel now. They don't blame Kevin Feige. They blame Disney. Nobody said, man, Disney's amazing. Well, look what they did with Endgame. Disney's so great. Look what they did with Civil War. Oh, man, that Captain America Winter Soldier, that was the best thing Disney ever made. Never has been spoken on the internet ever. It is always, Disney's ruining. Disney's doing this. Disney makes a ton of errors. Disney makes a lot of mistakes. Disney puts a lot of different stupid things in a lot of different stupid movies. But you can't say, wow, Disney's the one ruining Star Wars. Lucasfilm is the one ruining Star Wars right now. They're in charge of it. They got to get the money from Disney, but Lucasfilm is the ones who are making the poor decisions, and Disney signing off on the poor decisions. So they're both to blame. But if if you guys believe in this, okay, you want $230 million, you need that for Acolyte, and you think you can make it work? Here, take $230 million. Dumb. But Lucasfilm they brought them the script. They brought them, that's Lucasfilm's fault.
Yeah, like it starts there.
It starts there.
Yeah, I get the idea of like maybe there are crippling creative handcuffs that are placed on
Yeah.
creators once they're bringing a story, and then in the production when they're actually filming, maybe, you know, there's things that happen where they like make changes to scripts and like but the initial ideas obviously are coming from Lucasfilm.
Yeah, I mean, but I've worked in the development system. It
Mhm.
works like when I was working for Joel Silver. They would say, okay, we're taking a meeting with so and so. This is a project that Warner Brothers likes that we have. We have Sergeant Rock at the time. We have Sergeant Rock. They want to know if we can get a Sergeant Rock movie done. They want to make that movie. Okay, so there's a few different movies that we wanted that they like that we're going to do. So now we're going to meet with the director of so and so. Now we're going to meet with this director. Now we're going to meet with this writer. What take do you have? Okay, you have this. Okay, can you write me a draft? We'll pay you for the draft. Great. We have a budget to do that. Okay. All right, we got to a place. Now we like where this draft is going. We like where this is. Okay, fine. Now we're going to take it to the studio and show them what we got, and we like it. And that's how it worked. They are the creative ones working with those teams. And then you bring it to students. The studio's going to have a shit ton of notes, no doubt about it. And it's annoying, a lot of the notes, to which Jay follows it up. He says studios are too focused on mass appeal than trusting their creatives. You could have Dune level Star Wars, but I'm afraid we will be given more of the same. So I agree with all of that. But it's also the same argument. That's the problem. And this is why people always say, why are you talking about budget so much? It doesn't affect you. Yes, it does. It affects all of you. In what Jay just said, if the studio is shelling out $200 million for a project, you better bet your ass they're looking at mass appeal at $200 million. You can't make a Dune level Star Wars for $215 or $220 million and just say, well, we just hope some people like it. No, they're going to hope for mass appeal because they need to make their money back.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're going to be doing that. Now, the difference is when you find someone like a Tony Gilroy or other people, you trust in their creative because of experience. They've earned it. The problem is you get a lot of people sometimes that they hire in, the hot new director or whatever too, and they get bullied because the studio's like, oh, you did really great on that last film, but that was a $20 million picture. We know what we're talking about here. You got to do this instead. And they don't get the blame for it. The director gets the blame for it. So in that aspect, Disney or whoever, like if you made that kind of criticism, man, I don't like after you saw the reports of what happened, the way Disney meddled and did this, and this, and they gave their studio notes and yada, yada, yada. Okay. But at $200 million, they're always going to be going for mass appeal, Jay.
Yeah. Yeah. Which goes back to our earlier conversation of what is the state of Star Wars. What do they want to make?
What do you want to make? And it's like, I think it's anytime you have these movies, these IPs now, because of the mass appeal aspect, you get afraid to try to spend less money to make them, right? And the reason why Mandalorian and Grogu is going to come in at 125 or 130, whatever the hell it came in at, something the lowest Star Wars movie ever, maybe more than that, whatever it is, it's the least expensive Star Wars. It's because it was a television show that was turned into a movie. And that's why whatever budget they were going to use on the show, which would have been expensive for a TV show, they put it into a movie, and they were able to do it that way. And he had more money for the movie than he would have had for the TV show. So that makes sense on how they played that. But the problem is that, and this is as much as this whole Hollywood system is to blame, because if you're an agent and so-and-so calls you up and says, hey, look, we're making a Star Wars movie. Because ideally, I'd love for them to make a $70 million Star Wars movie. But it's almost impossible. Because, Steph, if you're an agent and I call you up and I go, okay, I know your client is looking for this, this, and that. We got something for it. And you're going to go, what is it? It's Star Wars. You go, great. Star Wars. You guys got money. How much are you going to pay us? I was like, well, we're doing this one for $70 million. Okay, great. We're going to pay, but so-and-so got $15 million for the last Star Wars movie. That's what we're going to give her too, right? Like, well, no, we're doing it for 70. Not interested. That's what happens. And it's Star Wars. You guys can afford it. It's Disney. You guys can afford it. And they get put in this thing. You can't make it. You can't make them for that little because agents and everybody else are doing, no. We know you got to pay up or you don't get us. Or you got to try to find, or you have to just go and get those upcoming, like they did in 1977.
Right.
Find those people who are good actors who are nobodies.
Totally. And they can, because the IP is massive.
you would like them to realize that, but they won't.
Right.
And that's where the studio does come in. That's where the studio does interfere. So to go back, Jay, they will say, hey, wait a minute. Can you put a little bit more star power in it? Nobody knows what that is. Can you put some star power in there? And then, well, we don't want to do that. We figure the name could take care of it. No. We need at least a big name. Studios definitely do that. Not just Disney. Everybody does that. And a lot of times it's like, well, we feel like the unknowns could help out here. No. We know what our stockholders want and this. So it's a big sloppy mess. It all stinks. RQMD SMD, support for Steph, enjoying the show. Thank you. Steph's got 23.
Thank you.
Came out to 23 already, Steph.
My lucky number.
Potentially have an hour left if we do it. Kristian, unpronounceable. Booster shot. All right. Okay. Mike Joyce.
Thank you.
Steph, when are you launching your channel? Great question.
I'm so close. I'm like, now that the wall is done, I can kind of finish my finishing touches of my first month's videos.
Mhm.
So really, like, I think within 2 weeks, but I'll be back next week with a better announcement and probably a more for sure date. But I'm finalizing my everything. So it's coming together.
I'm so excited to see it. Mr. Spaz World. I always love lifting his Steph. She's balanced, insightful, and full of good vibes. Always. Good things to good people. Have a great day. You too, Mr. Spaz World.
Mr. Spazwold.
Sorry, I apologize. Goose the Loose. At what point do the numbers talk? Andor's numbers keep growing. Filoni's viewership drops off. It's politics, man. It's politics. It's at this point, I'm telling you, the regime that is there. This is Kathleen Kennedy still. She's letting go, but not really letting go. She's like, okay, I'm letting go, but everything that I built is still there because Carrie, Beck, and Filoni are going to be there. It's politics.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how award season plays out, and also just the reception on Star Wars Instagram page in general. Like, I always try to just get a test of where the audience is for any of their shows, and depending what they're posting. And man, is it refreshing seeing them post about Andor stuff. And 95% of the comments are like, not all of them are like, this is the best show ever. That's like half of them. And then there's like, this was great. And then there's that 1% that obviously they don't, it happens with everything. But I'm like, how is that not a conversation in the room then?
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's gotta be.
It's true. Green, any concern that he spent $700 million on Andor for 2 seasons? They spent no $700 million or whatever it is on 2 seasons at what, 13 episodes for the second season? How many was the first? Let's say 10. I think it might. I don't remember.
It was 12. I don't
was
remember.
The first? Okay, let's say 12. Okay, so that's basically, you look at it, 2-hour movies, right? So 6. You did 6 movies. You did 2, 4, 6. You did you did 6 movies, right? In season 1, 2, 4, 6. If you did 12 episodes, and you did 12 movies. You did 12 movies for $700 million. No, not a waste of money. Even if it was 6 movies for $700 million. No, you did 2 each episode, or the 3 episode arcs as they do them. Like, look at those as movies, right? So you got 3, 6, 9, 12. You get 8 movies. Let's say 8 movies for $700 million. Money well spent.
And it reinvested itself because Rogue One was the most trending movie on Disney it might still be right now.
It brought a lot more. Great point. Brought a lot more people to that movie, to that, and you brought more recognition to it, and you got people watching Star Wars again, and it recycled everything and put more views on your streaming service. No, absolutely, it was a good spend of money, honestly, because for that amount of content. Now, if you would have spent $700 million on 5 episodes in crappy quality, then no, they're a waste of money. $320 million, or whatever was it? What was it? $230 million for Acolyte? No, come on, no. Mike Joyce, would you want to see the Yuuzhan Vong from the Star Wars books? Extragalactic alien invaders immune to the Force seem like a cool thing to introduce. Mike, my answer to this question is always the same. It's like, who's writing it? You know what I mean? Like, who's writing that story? It depends on who's writing it. Before I never say, oh, that sounds ridiculous. Who's writing it? How do you feel
Yeah,
about
and
that?
it's almost like I would want someone who read it and was like, "Oh, I want to tell this story," as opposed to them being like, "Let's tell this one," because this one it needs someone who's like, happenstance fell in love with the story that they want to break it down and
Yeah.
tell it into a full script.
Yep. I am Two Fly Cam. I'm honestly praying that Filoni is not going to be so influential over at Star Wars. Well, not if this report's true. That Ahsoka show is so bad and just poorly made nostalgia bait. Gilroy save us. Well, Gilroy ain't going to be around. He said he's not going to do this stuff anymore. So maybe the horror thing, but probably not. Yeah, that's my point. I am Two Fly Cam. Is that it's going to just the whole thing. If he's got the keys to the castle, all you're going to get is stuff like Ahsoka because he thinks everybody loves it. It's like, dude, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Another one after that. We're at 24 currently, Steph.
Okay.
Renee Reyes, you have two options. George Lucas takes back control of Star Wars, sell Star Wars to a company you're choosing. Two. Easily. Apple. No. George Lucas is too old to be running Star Wars right now, and he'd be too exhausted to run it right now. He barely wanted to do it when he was doing it, so he sold it. It's a no-brainer, too. Steph?
Yeah, George Lucas has his queen. They have their ranch.
Yeah.
And they're going to the Met Gala. He's in full-on retirement mode. Like, that would be so I would go number 2.
Yeah, he doesn't want anything to do with Star Wars anymore. He's like, I sold it off. I'm good. Yeah, 2. And Apple. That's it. Who would you sell it to, Steph?
That's a good question. I don't know. Like, I think if Apple really, I'm not obsessed with everything they put out, but they haven't put out a bad show or movie. Like, really, everything is pretty good, and then they have a lot of great shows and movies. So I think that's exciting. They obviously have the money in terms of Apple just being one of the biggest companies ever, so that's important for a acquisition like this, but I don't really know. I don't have a real opinion.
Fair enough. Jay Anderson, how can you tell which headlines are true? So many conflicting reports and narratives out there. Well, it just depends, right? Like, that's why I always say, like, it depends on what we're covering, and we always put, like, sometimes we'll put a question mark behind it, sometimes we'll put like definitive, right? So when Hollywood Reporter's doing this report, it's like, again, do we know who's going to take over Lucasfilm with a question mark and exclamation point? It's like, that's been a rumor. It doesn't, like, if Hollywood Reporter comes out and says it's been announced that Filoni and Beck are taking over, it would say Beck and Filoni to take over Lucasfilm starting yada yada yada. Same thing as when people like dum-dums write this. Oh, nice clickbait title, dummy. There's no way that this is happening. And so, well, we have a question mark on it. It was a report that was out there, and we're discussing whether or not we think it's going to happen or not. It's not clickbait, asshole face. It's a matter of what's out there right now, and we're discussing. And we could also end it with, do we believe that this is even going to happen? Yeah, people don't understand what clickbait is. Clickbait, we had this whole conversation on Collider Live about it. People there's just so many stupid people on the internet. Mike Joyce, do you have a favorite celebrity public feud or breakup? I think I'm enjoying Trump and Elon a little too much. I mean, the old school feud. I mean, this is dating myself, but it was oh my God, Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis. Good one. But
oh my God, I don't even know that.
Yeah, it's a good one. How about you?
That's yeah, I mean, it's pretty hysterical. Two narcissists can't be besties for long. The fact that they did for that long is actually pretty incredible.
Who?
But Trump and they're narcissistic.
I know what you're gonna say though. You're gonna say Drake and Kendrick.
The Drake and Kendrick is history, guys.
Yeah,
we lived through history. We're gonna tell our children about this.
Yep. It's a good one, Mr. Nerd Fanatic. Shocker. Apple TV made another heartfelt comedy with Stick with Owen Wilson. Really like the first 3, but I'm also a golf addict, so a little biased for me. They make good stuff, good quality. This is what I keep saying when people are asking, sell. Hey, Iger, I'm throwing out in the universe. Get an idea in your head and you go, hey, maybe this Beck and Filoni idea is not a good idea. Let me just sell to Apple. Apple.
Yes. Murderbot with Skarsgård is really cute. Yeah, it's fun. I wish they dropped the first 3 episodes together. That was very smart because you kind of need it. And then they're 22 minutes. I think that they should do what Andor did, 3-episode arcs,
That'd
because
be great.
it's, or not even arcs, just drops, because it's a little too short, because I'm worried I'm gonna forget next week because it was
Right.
just too, yeah.
I got to bring this up. Abernathy Raw, who's a member on the channel. How do you say that? Disney Star Wars is doing fine. How do you say that? It is not doing fine. They haven't had a movie since 2019. The shows have been kind of causing mass hysteria between both sides. I love it. Everything's awesome. Crew loves it. And then everything hates it. And in the middle going, what the hell are we watching? And there's been nothing great. Andor's been great. Mandalorian 1 and 2, great. It's doing fine. If it was doing fine, there would be no conversation with Kathleen Kennedy. How is it? Please explain. How is it doing fine? I'm not saying if you feel that it is fine. If you feel that it is good and you like it and you're okay, I don't mind it. That's not doing fine overall, though. You have to be able to look around and go, hey, look, I like that movie. Nobody went and saw it, but I liked it. That's fun to say, but you can't say, well, that movie did great. It didn't do great. It's like Thunderbolts. I thought Thunderbolts was really good. Didn't do great. I can't pretend that it did great because I liked it. It did great. Oh, everybody loves it. It did so good. Everybody saw it. It's not true. How do you say that? How do you say that? Sean McCabe, member for 4 months. Love Sean McCabe. Regarding the August live show, thank you for reminding me. Already got tickets, but just noticed a meet and greet option. Is that a separate purchase? I have money. The past 4 months have been awesome. Much thanks for. I think that it was already up there, but I don't know if it was public, whatever it is, but it is a separate. I think it's a separate ticket. You can get it at the same time, but I don't know how it works. But there is a meet and greet for the Me and Sam show, and there's still tickets left, guys. But I would get them sooner than later for August 9th. GoPal support. GoPal's coming in, pushes you to 27.
Okay, GoPal, thank you.
GoPal. Kristian, were you at Silver during the Veronica Mars era? I was. It was a great show and criminally overlooked. I was there. That was the TV department, and I think Gerard Boccaccio was doing that at that time. But I was not. I didn't deal with TV. I was in film, but at that same time, yes, for sure. Okay, GoPal. The only misstep is the first season was putting Paris Hilton in episode 3 to lure the masses. They were big on Silver Pictures, big on Paris Hilton. They did House of Wax with Paris Hilton.
Yeah,
they were big on Paris Hilton. So that was that. I remember her being around the office. I remember at the premiere. Yeah, she was around a lot. Let's see. That's so dumb. This is actually going to be fun to do. Someone said that I ban anyone that disagrees with me. Well, I banned him. I just banned that person. I don't ban anybody who disagrees with me. Disagreeing is there's a matter of, if you act like an asshole face in my store, I'm going to throw you out by your pants. But if you have conversation, that's not. You can disagree with somebody. You can have it. You should have a disagreement. I encourage disagreements. That's what intelligent people do. But asshole faces get thrown out. Buster Barnes, can't wait for Superman. Getting sick of all the back and forth conflicting reports about budget or BTS drama. Just give me the dang movie. Couldn't agree more.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see it. I don't care.
Yeah. Chris Malik reacts. What's up, Chris? I think streaming services and studios nowadays, especially the last 10 years or so, are treating movies like products instead of art. Thoughts? I don't think that's the last 10 years, Chris. I think that's been I mean, go and look at the movie, the television show The Offer about the Godfather. Back then they did the same. The studio's always been that way.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Do you think it's just been the last 10 years, Steph, or do you think it's always been that way?
No, I mean, this is to go back to our further of what Star Wars did. It started with Star Wars when their toys and how big that was, and then the creation of like Hasbro shows, and I think all of that just blew it up out of proportion, and they are worried about selling stuff. So I think that, that's why indie movies really matter, and supporting them is always kind of evens it out a little bit so it doesn't go too far. I do think, we are in why it feels more now, and perhaps it is more, is because now we've built upon franchises, and that's like a whole different, like, not really too concerned about the art.
Very true. Okay, let's see. Next one here is from Kristian Unpronounceable. The Donald Trump biopic, The Apprentice, won Best Motion Picture at the Canadian Screen Awards. What are your thoughts on the movie? I still haven't seen the movie. Did you see the movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I heard it was good though.
I heard it's good. I heard it's really good. I mean, obviously the actors are great and it's a compelling story. I'm just too fatigued.
Yeah, Jose, I'm going to send you a link. PLD, find out Jose. Jose, I'm going to bring you up on this channel right now. You can come in and you can join us. You want to join us on the stream? What do you mean? The Nielsen ratings had it as one of the top shows already of what it did, and it continued to go up. How? Send him a link. And
it's the only show in history that has above 9.0 ratings for 5 consecutive episodes.
Yeah, as far as Nielsen's, it did amazing in the ratings. How? Jose, come on in. I want you to explain yourself. You seen the Alien Earth trailer? Looks awesome. No, I heard it was pretty great though.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I am Jax 12. Idiotic decision making still going on at Lucasfilm with the momentum of Andor. No reason that Rogue One shouldn't have been released with the end of season 2. Episode 3 made bank. Let's see. Let's see if I understand that. With the momentum of Andor, no reason that Rogue One shouldn't have been re-released with the end of season 2. Episode 3 made bank. I understand.
In theaters, like with a plan. Yeah, totally.
It could have for sure. Jay Anderson, we got Ranty Harloff here, and I'm here for it. I don't feel. Am I ranty today, Steph?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. But hey, fair enough. Eric Slaby says, what are your thoughts on Disney giving Andor 650? We just addressed this earlier, especially given a show like Obi-Wan had less than 100 million. Yeah, but you got to look at with the nominations that it got. I know that Obi-Wan somehow got some nominations for things too. But Andor was also very much in the awards conversation. They used real locations, and I think Obi-Wan should have had a bigger budget, but also should have better writing and better scripts and and I liked what Deborah Chow did on Mandalorian season 1, but she shouldn't have been the main person on that show.
Well, yeah, I feel like spending this much on Andor is, my opinion is that it's going to turn out to be one of the greatest decisions that they've done in this modern era for Lucasfilm, because and I don't know if they went into it with this intent, but they ended up starting the telling of the most important story that plays out into everything else and gives everything else more color in life. Yeah. Whereas Obi-Wan, I think, could have done that, but it was more like, we love Obi-Wan, we just want to see more Obi-Wan. Right. Andor was the opposite, where I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, Andor's like cool, but we didn't even know he was the main character in Rogue One. You're kind of following Jin's journey. And then you see it, and in hindsight, it's like, this makes all the rest make more sense. Like, when you go back into Rogue One to 4, 5, and 6, there's so much more life that's been put into it. And so when you look at it like that, it's like, it was worth every penny.
Well, it goes off that conversation with what Mike Joyce asked us before. Would you want to see this movie, this? And I said, well, who's writing it? Who's doing it? Because at the time, like, hey, we're doing an Andor show. You're like, why? Why are we doing an Andor show? Like you just said, why? Who cares? And now Tony Gilroy's doing it. Like, okay, well, he's pretty much the guy who kind of directed Rogue One anyway, sure. And then you're like, oh, give Tony Gilroy more, because he just proved that it's about good writing and everything else too. Now you ask the question, what if Tony Gilroy would have done the Obi-Wan series? Like, how different would that show have been?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So who knows? Mike Joyce, favorite Wes Anderson movie, Royal Tenenbaums, hands down.
Yeah, it's so good. I think about that movie often.
Hands down. It is the mother was a terribly attractive woman.
I think it's probably a top 5 comedy of all time for me.
I absolutely love that movie. Noah S. I know you're writing for Brendan for Batman, but I think it might go to Tom Brittney, who's one of the runner-ups for Superman, and Gunn has praised his acting, to which he follows up. And like with Aaron Pierre, Gunn likes to get people who's already auditioned for the roles. You're not wrong. I don't know enough about Tom Brittney, so I can't say he's not right for it. I just obviously have my preference on who it is, but you're not wrong. That is Gunn's kind of MO. But do you know who Tom Brittney is, Steph? No? Yeah, I don't know. I just brought him up. I don't know who he is, but I guess if he did well, yeah. Not sure. So anyway, 32 right now, Steph. 32.
Okay.
Yeah, RQMD support for Steph.
Thank you.
There you go.
I was looking up Tom Brittany. No, I don't know
I
him.
don't know who it is. I don't know who it is. All right, that's it for now. So, can Steph pull off another crazy victory here? This is what we usually do. We're about to sign off, and if you want to throw some more questions on, you want to keep people on, you want to keep Steph on, then you throw in some more questions. And Rishi Shukla is going to start with us. $23 for Steph. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Does Andor still live rent-free in your heads 3+ weeks after it ended? It was such a powerful show. It sticks with you. It's going to be one of those timeless series that will be great decades from now. It does.
Totally.
Because it's like, what was the last, like, that episode what is it? Episode 8 or not? What's the genocide one? You know, that episode. Yeah, that episode is like, that's like the Red Wedding episode of Game of Thrones, right? That's like the water cooler episode that they needed. So, yeah, it does. How about you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely stuck with me, especially because I didn't love the way Last of Us ended, and those started basically around the same time. So I've really, really gone back to my fondness over what happened with Andor.
It's so good. I mean, and I definitely want to watch it again and lead up to Rogue One for sure. Shay Markel, support for the cool kids. Thank you, Shay. It jumped you up to 37 so far, Steph, just like that. Right before we're about to sign off, you're now up to 37. Chris Malik reacts. Big question for both of you. Where do you see our culture at with the film industry 5 or even 10 years from now? That is such an impossible question to answer, because even today, Luke sent me this thing about AI, this new AI thing, and it was like a generated thing that's running around on TikTok about like it was an AI created sitcom, like this characters, and it looks completely real. It looks completely real. It's got the laugh track and everything. It looks like a 1995 type thing, but it was all AI. All the characters are AI. There's only one time I noticed with you have that AI mouth thing that happens, and I noticed it. AI is going to change the business dramatically, because I know people are like against it and everything too a lot of times, but a lot of people clearly are getting on board with it and doing stuff like this. There are going to be full-on movies made with AI, with young Bruce Willis, people who are long gone now, all these things, it's going to happen, and the business will change dramatically. The question is, the first AI movie, it's going to be so controversial, the first like AI movie that is made that studios actually release. Can you even imagine? You're going to have, because of the strike and everything too, you're going to have people sign off for their rights and other things too. But crazy shit's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years with AI.
Yeah, and also at the end of the day, it's really about money. So depending how audience really react and what they're paying for and where you draw hard lines will affect the industry. But if we are all just like complicit in this wave, then yeah, it will be faster and way more abrupt. But I can't see a full world in which everything is AI, because people at the end of the day want to hear from people. And
that's what I'm saying, though, Steph. I was like, but the thing is, right now, you have an understanding of what AI is. I do too when we see it, because you can still, you still figure it out, right? But what if we get to a point that you can't tell the difference, what was made with AI and what's real? Like, yes, we want to hear from people, but what if you can't tell the difference anymore?
Then maybe there'll be a bigger push for live storytelling,
live content, I guess. But that's what I'm saying. That's how crazy it's going to get. Is that you're going to get to a place right now you can still tell, but if they did this already in this course of the last 2 years, where everybody's just all in on it, they're going to do a full movie in AI, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference. People are like, yeah, you'll be able to tell the difference. You're not going to be able to tell the difference, and it is frightening. It is frightening.
Really scary.
Yes. Eric Slaby. While I do get your dislike of Filoni's script writing, as it is sloppy and not great, I think he's an elite storyteller. I think he's a good storyteller too, which is why I think if he's paired with someone else, he'd be a good co-head of Lucasfilm. Ha ha ha. No, that's not what they're doing. they're not partnering up with another co-head to help him with create. They're going to help him with the business side of things, which he needs help with, and was probably what he would. But he's still going to be doing the. I'm telling you, he probably trying to think he's going to be the next James Gunn. He's a good storyteller. He is. I couldn't disagree with you. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. But yeah, he needs a Favreau or somebody with him helping or understanding that he can't screenwrite and he doesn't have all the basics of what a good screenplay is and all these things. He's not going to do, especially if he's got the keys to the castle.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Steph?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's a good storyteller, of course, and he's proven that he can tell great stories from start to finish. I just think with this specific position, it's not lining up.
Kristian Unpronounceable. Steph, what are your hopes for anyone from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. returning to the MCU? Did you watch that show?
I actually didn't watch the show,
Okay.
and I know that it's like gotten a lot of love. It was just in an era where I wasn't as tuned in to Marvel, but this is Ming-Na Wen's in this, right?
I think she is. Yeah, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, I didn't really
I'll
watch it.
always root for her. Yeah, is this a show that I should check out? Let me know.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know. People are going to disagree with me. I watched a little bit and bailed pretty quick. It was too networky for me. Shay Markel, looking forward to August, man. Ms. Marvel was great. Yeah, we just put out episodes 1 and 2 of Ms. Marvel. We're doing 3 and 4. We had a lot going on. Like today, just waiting for the copyright to go off of it. But Kate Mulligan came into the studio yesterday. She's in Jersey. She came and we did Sinners together. That should be up. As soon as I get off here today, I'm going to clear up some of the copyright on it, hopefully, and put it up.
That's a perfect person to watch that with you.
It was great. We started off. She said that her husband hated it, and I was like, he might be the only person that hates it.
Right.
And by the end of it, I go, the quick like spoiler for people, like, not in the movie, just the reaction. I said to Kate, I go, do you think you think that he is your husband is a crazy person? And without letting me finish, just a crazy person. Yeah. So yeah, we got a lot going on with that. We have John Wick coming out. We have How to Train Your Dragon, Ms. Marvel. We get tons of reactions. We just put up the Jurassic Park reaction with me and Sadie. That's up there too. Sean McCabe, nice. Got Fountain of Youth and The Accountant 2 on streaming. What should I watch first? Accountant 2, and I haven't even seen Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, watch The Accountant 2.
Yeah.
The Fountain of Youth is fine.
Yeah. Path 090. What's the funniest moment in Andor for you both? When Cyril jumped on the bed. Just defeated.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. Probably with the K2SO when he just was like just annihilating, but trying to be like chill. That
was really good. Kingsport Cal Jose's changing his username. I don't want him to. Again, it's to have a conversation. That's the whole point. You say things like that. You don't want people to be able to defend themselves and say what you mean, because it didn't make any sense. Mike Joyce, would you ever use AI to assist in your script writing? I like the idea of saying, okay, look, what to me is I like to see what's trending and other things. Not the actual screenwriting, no, but like what's trending, what's working, what are people looking for? Like, they have information out there. But Steph, would you?
Oh yeah, in terms of actually like my words, my dialogue, no, I wouldn't touch my script. But if I was like, what are the top 5 true crime movies? Right. Just to get, and then I would look up those scripts and read those scripts.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So that I'm not against AI in general. I think for the medical world, it can be on life-saving, incredible, amazing. For just like factory safety and using AI instead of humans for unsafe things, great, fabulous. But creativity, art, which I believe is like a God-given like divinity that's passed down to us all, no, I don't want it.
Shay Markel, you and Sam are basically putting on AvengerCon. You mean it for the live show? It's gonna be a lot of. She's excited. She's never done a live show before, so I want it to sell out. I want it to sell out quick. I hope people and we're also doing the streaming. You can stream it too. Go Pal. The way you talk about Filoni's learning at George's knee, it's interesting where they are both great storytellers who can't write dialogue. I know it's interesting that's how it came to be. It's weird. Jay Anderson, then I'll let you go, Steph. You're at 52 now. Look at that. Yeah, Jay Anderson. People say they're against AI, but they still use it. It's true. There's tons of people who say that they're against it and they still use it.
Yeah, sure. That's weird.
Yeah. Chris Malik reacts. I was referring to the whole product thing now with streaming services, how it affects the box office. Everything. The whole product thing now with streaming services. What do you mean?
Oh,
what do you understand what I mean?
Kind of like how everything is affecting what the industry will look like.
Yeah.
Not just AI.
The whole product now is streaming services. I think so. How it affects the box office. Maybe so. I think
like the box office is resilient. We're finding new ways to get people to the theater. I just think we were in an adjustment period. It might look different, but I think it's always going to exist.
Eric Slaby, do you think Lucasfilm would ever do an animated Indiana Jones show? The Great Circle game has really made me want one, as the story and performances were fantastic, especially Troy Baker as Indy. So here's a perfect example. As I said to you, Steph, before, if something that I'm like, I don't know if I really love that too much, and then something comes out and I go, boy, was I wrong. I was wrong on Troy Baker. When I saw it, I was like, man, I would love to see Jamie Costa do this. I think his cadence as Harrison Ford was a little better. Troy Baker nailed it. He was incredible as Indiana Jones. And I would love to hear him as the voice as an animated. I would love to see like a little bit more of a mature animated show from Lucasfilm on Indiana Jones. You could do so much with it if you took that aspect of what they did with that game and turned that into an animated series. Oh, it'd be amazing. And he'd be able to nail it. I'd love to see it. Would you?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It'd be real good. 54 so far, Steph. And now we get to Eric Slaby. Are you actually going to do this? Eric Slaby, who would your ideal head of Lucasfilm be? And unknown with a lot of experience, because there's I always say this. You didn't know who Kevin Feige was before he was Kevin Feige. You didn't know who he was, and made his name. Give me an exec who knows what they're doing, who loves Star Wars, who wants to do some new things and wants to change it up a little bit. And that's who I want. I want somebody who gets it. I don't have an ideal name.
Yeah.
What would you want to see, Steph?
Like similar. I just don't know. I don't have the answer for that, because I do think it is a very, like I've been saying a million times, like you just need certain qualities and experience to fill a position like this. And so that I would have to really search one day.
Someone says Dave's not going to be writing everything. Clearly, of course, how much time does this guy have to be able to write everything? Of course, he's not going to write everything. And yes, it is guiding the creative decision and being a gatekeeper. As I said, he's going to have more of the, oh, no, you can't do that because George wouldn't want that. No, it's like, you got to take risks, got to take chances. And he's not going to do that. So of course he can't. How's he going to write everything? It's impossible. Shay Markel. Recently watched that Wick is Pain doc, and I found it pretty inspiring. Those guys rescued the first film from failing due to a $12 million budget deficit. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Is Pain? I don't know what that is.
What is that, Shay? Is it a documentary about John Wick?
Yeah.
What is that? I want to know what that is. That sounds interesting. Jay Anderson, there's a whole generation who lives their whole lives online. AI will take over, especially if it's better than the user's reality. I'm telling you, it's like that whole thing when it comes to the simulation theory about the fact that this is all AI anyway, right? It's like, imagine if AI is as good as it is now, VR is as good as it is now. What is VR and AI going to be like in 100 years from now?
Right. It's Ready Player One. And when we destroy the earth by way of climate change, I'm laughing. It's not funny. Yeah. But if we live to see the day, we won't really see the day. We'll probably just see whatever is in front of our goggles.
Be like Wall-E. Be sitting in those chairs. Gopal. I just saw Accountant 2 is free on Prime. Should I watch that or new Poker Face tonight? The other one tomorrow. I hear Poker Face is good. I can't tell you. I think there's more investment with Poker Face. But Accountant 2 is free. Go see Accountant 2. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Shay, is there a behind the scenes film story you guys find inspiring? I always use the Rocky one. I mean, it's such a cliche one, but I always use the Rocky one because, the fact that he was an absolute unknown. They wanted to give him, the guy was living on couches and had no money, and they wanted to give him $200,000 in 1974, whatever it was, 75, to do the movie. And he said no, because they wanted him to walk away. And like, okay, thanks for the movie. Bye-bye. He's like, no, I want to star in it. Like, who the hell are you? You can't do it. We want Robert Redford. I don't want you. And he's like, no, you can't have it unless I do it. And then they cut his budget immediately and said, good luck. They give him no budget to like guerrilla shoot a lot of this stuff, him and Avildsen. And like just the idea, everything that they had to do behind the scenes, the fact that they had a fight coordinator who had worked on all these fights. He didn't like the fights. He had to fire the guy to do this. And that's the most inspiring story, I think, like ever, in the way that all went down.
Yeah.
Like that's about as much of fate as you're going to get.
Right. Like just really like indie, just hardcore fought for it. I think in terms of like more, we talked about Coppola and just the making of The Godfather. That was a huge fight, even for like the casting and everything, and just seeing how it played out. And now it's considered, in my opinion, and millions of others, one of the greatest, if not the greatest movies ever made.
Right.
And then also hearing James Cameron talk about how much he had to fight for certain things that ended up being my favorite parts of the movie. It's like, you really have to stand your ground on things that just to me is so inspiring, because you think like, money motivates everyone and you can't put your foot down with studios, but you absolutely can if you really believe in what you're doing.
I mean, look at this. Shay follows up. So we have John Wick, thanks to Eva Longoria. She put up the remaining few $1 million for their budget and saved the film. It's great. I wonder I hope she's seeing money on all this, if that's the case.
She is a great producer. I feel like she's produced a lot of great things.
Really,
yeah.
Under the radar too. Jake S. There's going to be a kid who makes a movie in AI going back, tweaking minute marks with a subscription to an IP. That's the new director, but set costumes, that's cinematography, that's all done. I know. I'm telling you, it's crazy, because if you're a studio and you can start buying AI movies and it's going to cost you nothing, as opposed to, giving someone $230 million to go shoot out somewhere and people can't tell the difference. It's going to be very, very, very hard for studio to not get addicted to making hand over fist over these AI movies. And we don't need these people anymore. They're bleeding money out. And then there's also the other side of that, where they're not going to need the studios to do it. If you can, because the thing is, you're going to get, if you find some independent company that does AI movies and they can somehow get these actors to sign off on their likeness and do these other things and let's say the first big thing that happens is that this company who makes an AI thing has these actors in mind, has, like, let's say you wanted to see a young Marlon Brando acting up against, here, for my own jealousy and my own selfishness, a young Julia Roberts, and then a young, again, using Bruce Willis, and a young whoever in the same movie together, and you got them all to sign off, and whatever the story was, and then they all signed off, and then they did this movie, and the company was able to do it. Say, who needs the studios anymore? We got this one production company that does it. They sign off the actors, and the estates are making money off of it. What do we need studios for anymore? That could also happen. It's scary.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. Chris Malik reacts. What is your most anticipated movie for the rest of the year that is not a comic book movie? Universal buying Star Wars is interesting. Universal? That'd be interesting. I don't know if it's going to happen. Again, using the both Luca and Julia Roberts. After the Hunt is very intriguing to me. I'm very curious what they're going to do with that movie. It comes out in October. How about you?
Okay.
Wicked, right?
But this is not a comic book movie. Universal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Wicked.
Yeah, and then I would say Avatar after that.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shay Markel. Yep, buddy. It's the John Wick doc. I never knew that was.
I didn't know that either.
I really want to see that. Where is it, Shay? I want to see that. CB The Legend 11. Thoughts on Fantastic Four pre-sales? Can it reach $1 billion? I got to see what it's tracking for in an opening weekend. It's like when you're projected at 175 to almost $200 million. You got a good shot if week 2 is strong. You got a great shot at hitting $1 billion. I mean, that's more than what Minecraft made, and that's going to get close to $1 billion. It's more than what Lilo and Stitch made. That's going to get close to $1 billion. So what? I want to see what Fantastic Four's opening number is. If it's anywhere between 165 to 200 million, it's got a shot. But I just don't know if it's going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Slaby, Devil's Advocate. Wasn't Kathleen Kennedy an exec with a ton of experience? Completely agree, though, that there are new heads to understand, love Star Wars. Well, what do you mean as far as Devil's Advocate go? Because Devil's Advocate, you can be an exec, but if you don't have, she never loved Star Wars. She's not a Star Wars head. She would work with George Lucas for a very long time. She's a really good producer, did tons of movies, and then George said, "Dang, you want to run the company?" She's like, "Sure." Got an opportunity to really do this. She's not a Star Wars person. But so you can have an exec with a ton of experience. You got to find someone who loves this stuff. You got to find someone who loves it.
And I don't think either of us, I don't know about you, have ever said that she was the wrong decision initially. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to go back in time and tell you. I wouldn't know what I felt or who.
Yeah,
I didn't know people.
Yeah, at the time I would have, because I did know Kathleen Kennedy from Raiders of the Lost Ark and everything too, and because she worked with George for so long, I'm sure that I was like, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy, that makes a lot of sense. But then, like I said, using the sports analogy stuff, a coach that has won a bunch of different championships for other teams comes into this system and it doesn't work for the team. And you go, as a good coach on other teams, doesn't work for this team. And somehow been coaching for 13 years. And so that's the whole thing. I just don't think it was, I'm sure at the time it was like, yeah, it makes sense. Good resume. Just not good execution. Jay Anderson, Instagram was created to share photos, and now it's run with generated images, video, which people love. The definition of art has shifted. Hard to disagree. Is that scary stuff? Do you see all the AI on Instagram these days?
I do see it a lot, but a lot of the times it's like so insane that it's kind of obvious, which is nice. But I know there'll be a day where it's not. You see it with the videos now. Like they have like, I saw they had Michael Jordan talking about a player that, and it was just like so weird because it's not him. And the only reason it's not him is just based off of his history of not doing that. But it's bizarre.
It sounds bizarre. Noah S. The huge gap between Fantastic Four and Doomsday could be huge for DC to get their footing with audiences. They have 3 to 5 projects coming out in that gap. It's a great point. Great point. Like there's two sides to it, right? You could have the anticipation because like, oh man, if Fantastic Four really hits, and you're like, oh, Doomsday is like another year and a half. Man, what's going to happen next? And actually, I think Spider-Man comes out first though, doesn't it? I think Spider-Man comes out first. So you're still going to have a Marvel movie in between. It's Spider-Man and then Doomsday. So you're still going to get that hype out there with Spider-Man. But yeah, I think DC has a shot. Like it's all about Superman. What's going to happen? Shay, cool that you said Rocky, because Creed is one of my favorite behind the scenes stories. Stallone said no until he saw Fruitvale Station. Shay, what I would say, go to Fandango's page and look at the Creed interviews. I interviewed Stallone, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan for the first Creed, and they told me that story that you just told me. And the idea, because he showed him, he said no at first, and he went back, he watched Fruitvale Station, and realized, oh, this guy's a great director. And Ryan Coogler talked about how he was he used to watch the Rocky movies with his dad, and it was one of the things he wanted to do. And it was it's pretty fun. That was one of my favorite set visits / interview things I ever got to do.
That's awesome.
It's great. I went to Philadelphia. I was like running up the stairs, taking a picture with the Rocky poster. And I did this face-to-face kind of stare off with Michael B. Jordan. That was pretty great. That was a fun time. And plus the movie was awesome. So it was good. All right. So Sean McKay, poor Tim in Jurassic Park, goes the whole movie getting roughed up, and then Mazzella later gets cast in the Pacific, Blue, and Okinawa. That's right. Some of the worst. Don't think Spielberg likes him so much. It's true. He was cast in those. We were watching, so Sadie and I watched Jurassic Park together. I forgot how badly Tim gets wrecked in that movie. Little Timmy. I forget. When was the last time you saw that movie, Steph?
Not long ago. I think we watched it on World Girls.
Okay, yeah, the little boy. He gets roughed up. He's getting electrocuted by the fence.
Oh yeah. He's
in the car. He goes off the car. He's limping around. He's like the kid's a mess.
Yeah. Yes.
He really is. Gopal, there's a story where George Harrison bankrolled Life of Brian just because he wanted to see the movie. I love that story.
That's hysterical.
I wish that you'd hear that more often. Just celebrities
Totally.
just going, hey, you know what? Here, take this. I want to see you do a sequel.
Yeah.
It'd be so good. Go, pal. If you put Brando and Roberts in a movie together, he's 100% pulling a Last Tango essay. What you got to be more context. You definitely have more that type of knowledge in your Wikipedia type of head.
Yeah, give us
Pal,
some exposition.
let us know what you mean there, because but I'm sure Go Pal is the best. Shay Markel, I bought the doc here on YouTube. Oh, it's honestly a cool flick to play in the background while you get some work done. It's a great doc I didn't even know existed. Steph, how the hell did you do it? You're at 70 so far. You're at 70.
I love you guys.
You're
Come
at 70. You still got a shot. You're only, I mean, the fact that you're only, I mean, we were at the sign off at like 40 something, and you're only what, 30, like 43 away. You're 43, but still, it's a hell of a run. CP, the legend, Fantastic Four sold the most pre-sales for 2025 via Fandango, 1.5 more than Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and just below Thor 4. I'm telling you, where is that guy? Were you on the show when the guy kept trying to bet me? And I said, let's do it. He said that Fantastic Four would make less than Thunderbolts, and I haven't heard from him since. He's been MIA.
Oh, really?
He's been MIA. Go, pal. Shanahan had 2 rings. Shanahan had 2 rings. Every offensive genius in the league today on his staff was in Washington, but couldn't make it work with Snyder. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like sometimes you just, the right pairs creatively work together well, and sometimes the organization they're in doesn't work, and that's what happened with Kennedy. But her assistant coaches now are going to run the whole thing. It's the same system. You need a new system. Jay Anderson, new Superman budget reportedly at $400 million 3 hours ago. I don't know. James Gunn said that's not true. 400. Who said that? Where's that report coming? Yeah, he said that's not true. Because you can track that eventually. So James Gunn saying it's not true, and then turns out that it is true, would be bad, real bad PR. But I don't think that's true. Eric Slavey. Oh, I was saying that because you mentioned experience is important for a new Lucasfilm now. Well, yeah, any experience, I agree, but I think love of Star Wars is key at a new head. Eric, we're in a total agreement. It is the number one thing that should be the most important. But experience is very important, because experience, because you can, like I said, Kathleen Kennedy had a lot of experience. That was the positive, was all the experience that she had. That was the major positive. The problem was she didn't have a love for Star Wars. You got to find the both. This is Filoni's Filoni's no experience with a love for Star Wars. You got to find the balance.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I think finding that balance is really key, and I feel like we've done a good job of being like, I don't know exactly who that person is, but if you want us to answer what we think would do well, it's that mixture.
Yeah, yes. Shay, Kristian, I'm going to check out those interviews. Check them out. Steph, do you get around doing interviews much? If so, do you have an approach to try and be unique?
I used to do a lot more interviews. I'm definitely interested in doing them more in the future, but I really am not. I don't feel comfortable on red carpets as an interviewer, and that's how a lot of those are. The junkets are cooler, but it's kind of hard when you're in that like press line type thing. It's hard, but
I mean, if I'm
yeah,
not doing hour-long sit-downs, I can't do it.
it's hard, because then you do have to try to be unique as opposed to just having like be yourself and have this conversation. But I definitely like when hosts or interviewers try and don't just ask like clickbaity stupid things.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. Julius Wyatt. Chew will get snubbed again. If they can snub Denis twice for Dune, they will snub Chew for Wicked twice, whether he deserves it or not. I will bet it. That's another bet I will be willing to not. I will be willing to put up money. He will not get snubbed again, because he was nominated by too many other places. Denis was not. And he won the Critics' Choice Awards, by the way. He won it. Didn't just nominated. He won. He's gonna get nominated. Kristian Unpronounceable. Steph, what's your cat's name?
His name is Tiger.
Tiger, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tiger.
All right.
And then we have a honey bear.
Okay, let's see next one here, and this is Noah S. Support for Steph. We can't let Rocha win. Well, she's still got about, it's still again close to 40 away, but still.
Yeah, it's tough. It was a tough number.
It was a good run on the way back. 76.
Yeah.
Go pal. That scene with Brando and Maria Schreiber with the butter. Brando and Burgess didn't tell her Brando was going to stick his fingers in for real. I don't know what was going on there, but I don't know that scene, but I have to look. I don't know. Steph, you want to look that up? If it's what we think it is.
Okay.
Shay Markel, I can't believe I've been watching you guys for all over a decade. Thank you, Shay. I remember when the audience basically bullied Rocha away from saying gravitas. Yeah, he did say it a lot. He did. It's true. Ed at the movies. I love Dave and what he's given us. Rebels, Clone Wars, parts of Ahsoka. That said, he should not be the head of Lucasfilm. If he gets in, I'll root for him, but I'll be nervous. What a fair comment that is. What a fair comment that is. Rebels was awesome. Clone Wars awesome. Again, animation, the guy thrives at. Parts of Ahsoka, fair. He should not be the head. If he gets in, I'll root for him, but I'll be nervous. What a wonderful comment that is. And good for you. That's amazing. And look, even though it might not sound like it, I'll be rooting for him too. I hope that I said it before, Steph. I want to be wrong. I want it to be like, no, you know what? The guy is that's the best choice they ever. He single-handedly, he was handcuffed by Kennedy. We didn't know it. He turned it around. He made things that we wanted to see that we never could have gotten made if Kennedy was there, and he got it done. I want to look at this camera and say, you know what? I'm sorry. I was wrong. I can't wait. I hope that I say that. I don't think I will. Jay and
yes. No, I completely agree.
Jay and it's a comic book movie. Josh Wilding said that. Okay, where's that report coming from though? Just him? He found that out through people. I'm curious. Tim Sim dropping by to say that. Hope everyone's doing okay. Thank you, Tim. And hope that Ballerina does well at the box office. Last thing I'll say before this Hornet's Nest regarding today's Star Wars news is this. I'm good with those two leading. We agree to disagree, my good friend. Tim has been around for a long time. We agree to disagree. I think it's a terrible choice. Okay. So 79. If I'm you, Steph, I'm holding my head up high on that one. That's a big comeback.
Thanks, guys.
113 is tough, man. 113's tough. So good. Yeah. It's a big number. Now the question is, can Winston and Coy do it? Well, we're going to be back tomorrow. We shall see if they're going to be able to do it, or will Rocha take his first victory in, I think, months? We shall see. Steph, never mind. Shay Markel, getting you to 80. Why is it so hard to make a good live action Last Airbender? I didn't see you didn't like the series, right?
I liked the series.
Oh, you did like the series. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I think because the bending, I think it's really hard to, I think they did a good job. I think it's so hard to please people, but I do think the bending in general makes it a harder show to produce a live action.
Fair enough. I can't say enough about it because I don't know enough about it. CB, the legend, the Hollywood Reporter is now reporting the Superman budget. Really? It's $400 million. I mean, you got to be able to see what the hell's going on there with that, especially if Gunn is saying that's not true. What is it? Is that after reshoots and stuff? Stephanie, news on the Last Tango controversy?
It's like this whole article. It's too hard to read because I didn't watch the movie, but I think it was like a scene that was really bad.
Okay.
But I didn't want to full on read while you guys are sending in questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. We'll have to talk about it next time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what that report with the budget. We'll probably talk about it on tomorrow's show. This is no Superman budget has been confirmed. The Hollywood Reporter article is misleading. It's including the marketing budget, $200 million just on the trailer. I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. I really appreciate you. Steph, once again, where can they find you? What's going and tell them where the channel is?
At Steph Sabraw, and it's youtube.com/Steph Sabraw is where I'll be posting everything, and I'll have more information next week.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to Steph for being here. You guys rule. So make sure you comment, click like, check us out on Spotify. Please join the Clips channel and get your tickets for me and Sam on August 9th. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Thanks again. Bye-bye.